For the past month, I have been obsessed with the style of retro anime. And to honor the obsession and become even more obsessed, I decided to make a poster inspired by it. But something happened along the way. Procrastination kicked in, and I distracted myself. I did everything that I can to run away and avoid sitting down and doing the work. At a point, the urge became so strong that I couldn't run away from it anymore. At that point, I knew I had to face it. I had to sit down and do the work. So it all begins by going to Pinterest and just exploring and gathering as much ideas as you can for the project. I'm speaking fonts, textures, photography, visuals, illustrations, everything that will help orient your project. And once you get a clear enough vision, immediately hop onto your design software and start making it work. What I wouldn't recommend is staying stuck in a loop of just scrolling down Pinterest and gathering inspiration, creating mood boards without doing anything. I wouldn't recommend that. What I would recommend is once you get a nudge, a clear vision, clear enough, immediately start designing. For the pictures I will be using for this poster, there is this artist called Silentium, and he's so good at creating AI anime art. I went to his profile on Instagram and checked his work, and I immediately fell in love with these two pictures right here. So these are the ones I'm gonna use for this project. So Dolor, shout out to you, my man. So now I'm thinking of adding some effects to these two pictures, and first thing that comes into mind is going to the filter gallery and adding a stamp plus halftone pattern, and then changing the option from dots to lines. For the second picture, I'm gonna do the same, but with a twist. Instead of using lines, I'm gonna use dots. So first thing that I'm noticing is that these two pictures are facing in different directions, and I don't want that in my composition. At least I want them to face the same direction. But in this case, the two pictures share the same vibe. And when you have two pictures that share the same vibe, you can do so much more. So, for example, I'm gonna try and make them face each other. And that creates more tension and even adds a touch of conceptuality within the composition. So I love that. The reason behind spreading the skull picture vertically is mainly to create an axe that will act as an anchor for the composition. Doing so in a way that as I copy and create copies, I decrease the size, creates motion and dynamism. Now comes the part for type and mouse type. And by mouse type I mean little, small, tiny typography you're seeing on the screen right now. This is such a powerful tool to add contrast, depth, variety, and just visual interest to your compositions. I highly recommend spending time coming up with new and different arrangements. Take my vid as a reference and just try to come up with as much variations for mouse type and even topography as you can, because this is how you learn and this is how you solidify what you're seeing right now or learning from the video. Because I'm impatient with colors and need to see them right away, I went on and already applied some for the pictures. And to do so, it's simple actually. Just double click on the layer style, head to color overlay and change the blending mode from normal to multiply. So to spice things up and add even more visual interest for this composition, I will be using a combination of Astral Fruits 1 and Astral Fruits 2 and Uncommon Vector Pack. This is a collection of 45 very unique vectors that I did my best to make them stand out and at the same time merge with different styles and moods. Each vector of the set has been put through a rigorous process of testing so that it looks its best whether used small, medium or big. I highly recommend to go check out these vectors, and I will leave a 50% off store-wide so that you can get your hands on them and carry on with the rest of the video. There is this beautiful harmony that comes into surface when you combine text with vectors, and this is something I highly recommend for you to just experiment with. Just try as much as you can. Take my work as a reference and go and create as much combinations as you possibly can. In that way, you are harnessing and channeling the harmony and sophistication and depth to your work. Most of my design process is just bringing pictures, text and vectors together and messing around with different layouts, moving things around and trying different placements until it makes sense visually. This is a process of making mistakes, trying and failing, and just correcting course as you go through tackling the rest of the design. going to group text with vectors and apply an ink bleed effect. So as you can see, I'm just slightly tweaking the poster and adding some finishing touches before I take it to the last step, which is to give it a realistic print effect. And to do so, I will be using photocopy paper textures. And if you want to learn how to use textures to simulate the realistic print effect, I have made a video explaining it step by step on my channel, so I'm gonna leave a link in the description for you to go and check out. Congrats for making it this far, and thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, feedback, suggestions for videos, just let me know in the comments and I would be more than happy to reply. So that's it. See you soon and peace. Take care.